Hello everyone and welcome to Career Highlights. This is going to be a new series of videos that we're going to do that cover and talk about different careers and what it takes to get into them and what types of things you might be interested in learning as a student if you're interested in going into those fields. So for the first one, we're going to do librarians. So probably a good place to start is what exactly is a librarian? Most people assume that everyone who works in the library is a librarian, but in most cases, this isn't the case. In most cases, a librarian is a professional who has received a master's degree in library and information science, meaning they have spent a lot of time learning about libraries. It is an earned title, and a few of them can get a little cranky if you mix it up. Some libraries, though, have all staff titles being librarian, and ironically, the ones with the librarian degree are called something completely different. So it can get really confusing, and it really does depend on where you live. So I've generally found that what people think we do is some combination of spending our entire day reading or shushing people. I think that my family tends to think that I waste all of my money paying for stuff for work, organizing books, and dealing with angry people on the phone. As librarians, we think that we help build senses of community, instill a lifelong love of learning and reading, and we do everything in our power to get everyone possibly everything they could need like little superheroes. So this is a very brief rundown in some of the jobs we actually do. If you're doing a librarian job with materials, you'll be making sure we have the materials that people will want when they come into the library. This can include regular materials, DVDs, CDs, audiobooks, magazines, databases, and even archival material. If you're dealing with events, which is what I do, then you'll be doing programming and events for all ages, from crafts to video games to trivia. You can also be doing outreach where you go out into the community and let them know about what we offer. If you're dealing with information literacy, then you are making sure that people know how to find the correct information when they need it. So we're teaching you how to search effectively. We can also be answering reference questions you might have, so helping you find resources, and that also kind of includes school librarians. We also offer a community space with free Wi-Fi and tables and study rooms. We also have our admin team that also composes a lot of librarians who don't work so much on the front lines anymore, but are still essential to making sure we can run day to day. So how do we get there? Most of the time, to be a librarian means you have a master's degree in library and information science. Then after that degree, you generally spend 1 to 2 years in an entry-level librarian position before moving up. To enter a master's program, you will need to think about what college you want, what degree you want, and if or where you will work in the interim. So when thinking about what college you want, you'll want to consider whether or not you want to do it online or traditional brick and mortar school. Online classes give you more flexibility, but require the motivation to keep you going. You will also need to ensure that the school offers the degrees and certifications you need and that you're looking for. Most importantly, it should always be ALA accredited. You also have to consider what degrees you want. What is required to be a librarian in the state you're interested in? Some states have certificates for librarians, others have a bachelor degree you can use. If you have to get a master's degree, what bachelor's degree do you want to get before entering into the master's program? These are all very important things to consider when wanting to become a librarian. Another important thing to consider is, do you want to work or volunteer? I personally worked and volunteered for libraries the entire time I was in school, and I think it was a wonderful option. You will never learn as much about libraries if you don't work in one. It's hard to grasp all the little parts of the job without it. That being said, especially if you need to go to school in person, a position in a library can be hard to find. I would recommend volunteering though. So I've asked all my coworkers what some of the things they wish they'd known sooner before looking into becoming a librarian, and this was some of the feedback I got. Going back sooner. Working as a librarian isn't always the first thing people land on as a career, and that means that sometimes a lot of time passes before they go back to school. This can apply for any field, because getting back into school after a long break is hard. Volunteer or work your way up. You cannot even begin to appreciate how much work goes into running a library until you work in one. I have trained many people, and it never fails that they are surprised at the end of the first day of how much we do just to keep a library running. I think that it's very important to be able to also work from the bottom up, because then you appreciate how much work goes into each of the stations. Another suggestion was learn basic IT. It's extremely helpful to know some basic IT and the use of office devices, old and new, because people will assume you can, and you get a ton of questions on it. And plus everything breaks. So, you want to be able to kind of, figure stuff out on your own a little bit. So I hope you all found that interesting, and I hope you guys all comment so that we can figure out what we want to do next. I'm really interested in learning about a bunch of different careers and bringing some people on to talk to you guys. So please make sure to comment, and don't forget to check out our website for all of our other events. And thank you, and have a great day.